This video is about this grandfather clock. It was actually my grandfather's and he ran it since 1964. Then my dad had it a couple of years and I don't think he ran it during that time, and then I got it and then I run it all the way till now. And I just put a new movement in it. The movements are supposed to last about 25 to 30 years. This one lasted over 50, so got my money's worth, or my grandfather got his money's worth out of it. This video is about putting the new movement in and converting it from a chain drive where you used to come in here and pull the chains to a crank where you come in here and you crank it. Now the reason you might want to convert from a chain to a crank is when you have the chain drive, you have to grab those chains and pull them, and over time they're made out of brass and they kind of tarnish. And also another issue I had with them was when the weight would come up, it would start spinning, and I had at least once the hook screws on the top, the hook unscrewed and the weight crashed to the bottom and smashed the bottom, and so you had to kind of stop them, and which meant you had to touch the weight also, and then they would get tarnished, and just kind of a whole thing. I also have always liked how the cranks work. So there were quite a few modifications on this clock that I had to do. The most terrifying one was I had to drill holes in the dial, and this is, if you buy a dial that's made for a winder, this is really exactly what it looks like. Here's how I actually got them all in the right place. Okay, so what I've done is I brought this clock movement over here, and I had to raise it up so the mechanism on the back, I wouldn't be resting on that. And then I got the edge perfectly straight by taking this and running it down the side and getting that straight, and then I made sure that the bottom was straight and they were in line with each other. So once I got it oriented, then I came back and I put these points into my DRO. And I just eyeballed this right on top at the point of every one of these. Now that I've got those 4 points in my DRO, I'm going to bring the moon dial over and I'm going to get it centered on this point right here. Okay, I've got the dial in here and I've got it secured, lined up for the first hole. This is the most nerve-wracking part of this entire project, so hopefully it will go well. And I'm going to take a piece of poster board and tape it down here. I got to keep all the chips out of the moon dial up there. Okay, I've switched over to a 3/8 end mill because I'm thinking it's not going to grab the brass. I'm not going to have to worry about it grabbing and tearing. Okay, this hole's going to go right here. And now I'm just going to scoot over and make sure the other hole is looking like it's in the right spot. I don't know what I'll do if it's not. Okay, those look about the same. So, okay, put our guard in place. I had to make some modifications to how to mount things in here. The stem for the hands on this movement were actually about 1/4 of an inch higher than on the other one. So when I replaced this piece, this is the piece that used to hold the mechanism up, but chains went down through here and I had to be able to get these pulleys through. So I just made some strips of oak here, and then you can see right here I thinned them out 1/4 of an inch, so this now sits down enough that it brought this down 1/4 of an inch in height, so that when I put the dial on, it'll fit within the window of the clock. Just like that. Now this is where the hands go right here, and this is actually the moon gear. So this clock has a moon dial on it, and this goes around, and every 24 hours it clicks another gear that's on the dial. I'll show it to you here in a second. Now this came off the old one, and its stem was 6.5 millimeters, and this one's 5 millimeters. So I had to make that little collar that you see right in there. and I split it down the middle so that when I tightened this, it would crimp on there. And so I was able to get the moon gear on here, so now my moon dial will work. Now this is the moon dial. It moves one little click a day. And so what that little lever right there does is it comes around and clicks, that once a day and advance it. And with the top on, I think you can see everything lines up really well. And it looks great. All right, well, my clock was down for a couple of weeks getting this done, and I'm glad that it turned out so well. I was really worried, especially about drilling holes in the face of the thing, but it all worked out great, and it's working. It's been going for, a couple of weeks now, and it's doing great. Hope this was interesting to you. Thank you for watching.